Good evening, everybody. How are you doing? There I am. Hold on, I started out with a technical difficulty. Sorry about that. I hope you guys can hear me okay in the chat. Y'all know to let me know if you can. I'm multitasking at the moment, so bear with me 1 second. 1 second. I had to fix something. All right, Butterfly, we should see you back blue. Okay, so let me know if you are. Okay, sound is great. Good. Thank you, Rachel. Appreciate that. All right, let me get that out of the way down so I can see what's going on here. All right, everybody, welcome in. How are y'all doing on this Saturday evening? It is Saturday, right? I didn't get confused. Y'all know me. Yes, it's Saturday. Tomorrow's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all you dads, bonus dads, grandpas, pawpaws, all the men in the world who show up, right? We appreciate you and shout out to each and every single one of you. I hope you have a fabulous day because you know what? Y'all deserve it as much as moms do on Mother's Day. I hope y'all appreciate each other all year round, but show that little extra love on the celebration day. There you go. You're back now, Butterfly. She's back. So welcome into my mod team. And y'all, if those of you who are just joining and have been here in a minute or a couple days, Semi Sharp is now a mod. Butterfly has rejoined the workforce Monday through Friday. So when she's not available, Semi has agreed to take on the role as well. So now we got 4 amazing mods. And you guys are familiar with all of them. And welcome aboard, Simi. We are happy to have you, and we appreciate you. Pammy, good to see you, ma'am. I've been missing you, Miss Pammy. Well, we'll see if we get some others trickle in tonight, guys. I don't know what's going on out there in them YouTube streets. I don't know who's doing what tonight as far as lives go and what's popping off. People may have big plans with it being a Saturday night. They may not be like us, just chilling. I'm chilling. I was hot today. And then we got another big thunderstorm in the afternoon. But this time, after the rain, we actually did get lower humidity, which I'm just like thanking the Jesus for all that because my AC is on the fritz. So it feels pretty good in here right now. Yeah, we had to get somebody on board also because I didn't want to leave it all to just Forrest and Rachel, and we have a pretty chill chat, so pretty easy going around here, isn't it? Pretty easy going. Y'all, I didn't hear any updates today on the Alana Moore case. They were supposed to be conducting her autopsy today, and it was reported that we would maybe get reports tomorrow as of cause of death in that case. And until we do, we really have nothing more to go on, right? To make any kind of theory as to what happened, because we don't know. We don't know. What? Oh no, Pammy, not the shitballs. I hear you. That we don't like it when that happens. We like to throw them right back if we can, huh? And now is it time? Yeah, Rachel, I got a small one from my room coming, but my son's replacing. I don't know if he's replacing the big unit or what he's doing today. He hasn't really decided, but he's getting something for the living room. I don't know what he's doing in there, but I was like, you do you, because he's figuring out what they're doing with the big unit. So in the meantime, I'm just going to get me a small portable here for my room because I always stay the hottest in the house anyway, or like not me, but this room for some reason. So it'll be all took care of the next couple of days. But being in Florida, I can't live without it, right? Like, nah, in the evenings and at nighttime, maybe for right now, give it another couple weeks and you won't even be able to make it through the night without an AC, but it's okay for right now. And like I said, fortunately, after my par for the course afternoon thunderstorm, we call them pop-up thunderstorms. We get them all the time in the summer, but it did cool things off. Nice breeze actually coming, so I got the window open. So if y'all hear a loud vehicle swish by occasionally, I apologize for the Hot Mess Express. But your girl is not going to burn up. It's not happening. I even got the fan on low so I don't drown you. You guys don't have to hear this crazy fan going. So, well, we wanted to get into the Crystal Rogers case. I had wanted to do it for so long, and they had the trial for Brooks Halk, and we're going to get into all the backstory and how we got here in a moment. But we just all these other things kept happening and happening, and we're back to it because something else happened in the case. Um, there was an arrest. Nick Houck was arrested in the case, and he was arrested on perjury charges. Why does that matter, right? He is the brother of Brooks Houck, the man convicted of the murder, disappearance, and then murder of Crystal Rogers. Crystal Rogers has never been found to this day. She disappeared in 2015, July of 2015. And it took years to get him to court, right? So it just took a long time to get there. We're going to unpack. This is going to be a couple of parts to this whole thing because we need to see if we're going to get justice for Crystal's father, Tommy Ballard, through Nick Houck. Is Nick the smoking gun? Okay, so backstory for those of you who are like, what are we talking about here? Crystal Rogers was a young mother. She had 4 children at the time. She meets a man. She's a single mom, of course. She meets Brooks Houck, and they begin to date, and they're living together, and they have a child together. And at the time, he was just a baby, a little thing. Something went wrong in the relationship. There's many speculations as to what, but I actually heard something very interesting today that I had never heard before that kind of floored me, and I thought, wow, was that the catalyst of it all? But we'll get there eventually. All right. So Crystal disappears. Her family reports her July 5th, 2015, and to this day she's never been found. But it took years to bring anybody to court for her. And like I said, with no body, Brooks Houck was convicted of her murder. Interestingly enough, if I can talk tonight, it's not interesting. It's sad, and it's bothersome. It's troublesome. Whatever word you want to come up with at this point. That 16 months later, Crystal's father, Tommy Ballard, was murdered on his property. Coincidence that his daughter disappeared, and then he was murdered a year and a half later, after heavily investigating her disappearance, right? Turns out the gun to kill Tommy could be tied to Nick Houck, the brother of Brooks. So we have Brooks convicted of murdering Crystal, and now the gun tied to her father's death is to Brooks' brother, Nick. But there's no charges for that yet, right? He has only been charged at this point with perjury. So there's going to be some names to remember in this case. There's a lot of moving parts to this case, a handful of players, if you will, because you have Crystal Rogers, the victim, right? Then you have her father, Tommy Ballard, another victim. You have her mother, Sherry Ballard, their biggest champion. Bless her heart, because Till Ballard, the father of Tommy Ballard and the grandfather to Crystal Rogers. Okay, he's like the reason we'll get to Till is because of something else that happened in that family prior to Crystal ever disappearing. On the Houck side, of course, we have Brooks Houck. He was the boyfriend of Crystal Rogers. We have Nick Houck. He is the brother of Brooks and a former police officer. We have Rosemary Houck. She's the mother to Brooks and Nick. And Rhonda, the sister to Brooks and Nick. What kind of conspiracy do we have in Bardstown? Well, they were all charged with conspiracy. Accusations said that Nick and Rosemary were suspects, right? We're going to get to that and unpack. So there's a lot of moving parts here. There's also one name that will pop up, and that is the name of Jason Ellis. Jason Ellis was also a Bardstown police officer, just like Nick Houck, working at the same time, mind you. Jason Ellis was ambushed and murdered in May of 2013. 2 years before Crystal Rogers went missing. May 25th of 2013. Investigators, when they conducted the investigation and saw what played out with Officer Ellis's death, he was driving that. We're going to get to a news pieces on that, but there's been no connection yet between Jason Ellis, Crystal Rogers, Tommy Ballard. But interestingly enough, mixed in all the case files, all the FBI, according to the FBI investigator, all their investigations, Jason Ellis is sprinkled all throughout it. And the same players that were investigated in that case may or may not have been investigated in the Crystal Rogers case. What's going on in Bardstown? What's the tie? Is there one? Is Nick Houck the smoking gun? I don't know, but we'll try to get there and unpack it. We'll see. Mother is Butterfly, another mother, right? Mother is very toxic. She is, and Brooks, man, that guy, he gets under my skin, y'all, like no other. That arrogance, that I know men like that. You can go anywhere and see them. You can go to the ballpark and see one, right? The kids' ball game, you're going to see a Brooks standing out there. Go to a barbecue, you're going to see a Brooks standing in the little crowd there drinking his beer. You know what I'm saying? He's just too much for me. Okay. So I'm going to read you something before we get into taking a look at something here. Nick just had his arraignment a couple of days ago. Now, the family was also charged with recording their grand jury testimony back when they were testifying before the grand jury in the investigation into Crystal Rogers' disappearance. So why are we doing all that nonsense, right? If we're good to go over here, why would we do all that? Okay. Let me share something so we can get a good timeline on some things here. Okay. So on June 4th, Nick was arrested on a Nelson County indictment, okay? He was arrested by the Kentucky State Police. Oh boy, the Kentucky State Police. They're investigating that Mickey Stein situation. Ouch. But we'll give them their, that's separate. We'll just leave it at that. Okay, so Kentucky State Police arrest him on June 4th. On the indictment, he is charged with first-degree perjury. Perjury in the first degree, and it's a Class D felony, but it only carries a 1 to 5 year sentence. Okay? He was released on a $25,000 cash bond. His arraignment was held June 18th. I did post a video. We'll watch it again. It's not long. The perjury was alleged to have been committed, though, between 2015, right, when Crystal disappeared, through 2023. Means ongoing liar, right? Ongoing liar, liar. Pants on fire, sir. Family is terrible. Oh, God, no, not in a good way, mama's boy. It's, figuring out their family dynamics is interesting. I'll say that because I clock it. You know what I mean? Like not the Dr. Gary's way, my way. I'm real. I'm watching that relationship, and it's very odd. But Brooks, I feel like, is a lot like his mother. Do you follow me on that? I don't know if y'all feel that way, but maybe you don't know enough yet. But he is a lot like Rosemary. We've done no wrong. We are better than the rest of you. We got more money in this little tiny town, right? Look down their noses at everybody else. That's Rosemary and Brooks. And people were apparently afraid of them in the town because they had money, right? Brooks was like a millionaire. Brooks had all the rental properties. Someone used to come in our chat and said their sister actually rented a place from him at one point. I haven't seen them around in a long time, come to think of it. Um, but that's how they appeared to be, those types of people. You know how it is in that small town America, and you're the one with the little more money than the rest of them. You're gonna flaunt it and show it and do all the things. Well, I wouldn't, but some people will. Rosemary will. Okay, let's get to the backstory here. This is a good timeline I found. There was a couple of good places that always did a pretty good job at coverage on this case, and one place that did a really good job, right? Which is Shay McAllister, and we'll get to some of her work here in a little bit, or maybe not tonight. Actually, she might be on part 2. You can find Shay McAllister over on Facebook now. She used to be with, what was it, WSAL, right there in Kentucky, Louisville, I think. But she has since left after the Crystal Rogers trial. She left, and she's on her own now. But I believe she's got some stuff with the FBI agents that work this case, like interviews with them, that I would like to see. But I think I got to sub up to her thing, whatever she's got going on over there. I believe you have to subscribe now to see her work, so I got to go figure all that out. Maybe I can sweet talk her and let us look at a couple of things. I don't know, but Shay's fabulous. Your husband remembers watching a documentary on it years ago? Yeah. It happened in 2015, right? Okay, so let me get this up where everybody can see. So this is at a WLKY Digital's team, and they had when I was researching a good timeline to pull up, they seem to have the best one. Okay, so back in 2015, like I said, this was when this case occurred. So July 3rd was technically the last time anybody saw Crystal, right? So July 3rd, the last time Crystal Rogers was seen alive with her then boyfriend, Brooks Houck. Houck told investigators they were at his family farm together with their son, and they left together. He said when he woke up the next day, she was gone. Now, there's a lot more to that story. Brooks, turns out, why y'all went to the farm, what you were doing there so late. Was the baby what? She would take the baby out that late and go to the farm with you to. So that was his story, right? And he's sticking to it. That's what he said. They go to the farm, they go back home. He wakes up the next morning and she's gone. July 5th. Now, he doesn't report her missing. He doesn't call anybody. Just keep that in mind. July 5th, Sherry Ballard, Crystal's mother, reports Crystal missing. That same day, her car was found abandoned at the 14-mile marker on the Bluegrass Parkway in Bardstown. Her keys were in the ignition, and her phone and purse were still in the car. Her family found that car. Her brother, to be exact. The car had a flat tire. So did Crystal leave the car to go get help and leave her purse and her car, her phone and the keys behind? But here's one big takeaway her brother noticed. Crystal was a big girl. She was tall. Crystal liked to slide her seat all the way back, and she laid her rear, the seat back. She reclined it a little bit as well. That's how Crystal drove her car. Her brother said when they got to the car, that seat back was sitting straight up, and the seat itself was slid all the way to the damn steering wheel. He said, my sister did not drive that car there. Somebody else had to. Turns out they did. It was the Lawsons. They were also charged in the Crystal Rogers case, and we'll get to all of that here in a moment. So somebody else drove her car to the Bluegrass Parkway and parked it on the side of the road. And it had a flat tire, and they left it there abandoned with her things inside, right? So that's where they stood. That's where the family stood. All right. And there's a photo of Sherry, Crystal's mother. There's a photo of Crystal's car. The cops ended up giving that car back to Tommy, and Tommy put it in storage and preserved it and had the private team come in and forensically scout that car, right? I think a few years ago, the FBI actually took the car, put it on a flatbed, and they took it as well. Yielding what? We don't know. All right. So now, that should go back to how investigation 101 should be conducted when somebody's missing and their things are discovered, their car, their home, their purse, their phone, all the things. Preserve everything right then and there. We don't move, touch, do all the things. It's so important they get everything right then, right? There could have been all kind of evidence there in the driver's seat they could have collected. That who knows. There was some hair in another car we'll get to eventually. So October rolls around. The Nelson County Sheriff states Brooks Houck is a suspect. Houck's brother, Nick Houck, is fired from the Bardstown Police Department for interfering with criminal investigation into the case. Yes, he was. Now we have perjury charges, right? He did a lot. Nick was doing a lot, turns out. In December of 2015, Danny Singleton, who worked for Brooks Houck and was friends with him and Crystal, was arrested on 38 counts of perjury for lying to the grand jury. He pled guilty in 2016 to amended charges of false swearing. What the fuck? Let's get the wording of the word salad. Let's make it proper so it's less stingy. What are we doing? Did it sting less to say false swearing instead of perjury for lying? What in the world? Did it carry a lesser sentence for false swearing? Wow. Go, American justice system, go. 2016. May, Brooks Houck's grandmother, Anna Whitesides, invokes the Fifth Amendment when subpoenaed to testify before the grand jury. Now we got Granny going all Fifth Amendment on them. Conspiracy in Bardstown. Why would Granny need to take the Fifth? So Miss Anna Whitesides, the grandmother to Brooks and Houck, she takes the Fifth Amendment because she gets a subpoena for the grand jury. The Rogers family believes her white Buick was used in the crime. In August, a search warrant is served to Nick Houck at the Whitesides home on Pulliam Avenue. Days later, another search warrant is executed at Whitesides' home and garage, as well as the home of Nick Houck. A little more than a week later, another search warrant was executed on the farm of Rosemary Houck. Rosemary's the mother to Brooks and Nick. Brooks' mother. Granny's daughter. Is this footage of where Tommy was shot and killed? November, Roger's father, Tommy Ballard, is shot and killed while hunting with his grandson on family property in Bardstown. His case still has not been solved. Hasn't been solved to this day, guys. I want to see what this is. This could be about the FBI search again at the Houck family farm. There were multiple searches conducted there. Yeah, this is the search at the property. That was a pond on the property. Could you imagine? Hats off to these guys that do this sort of work. Welcome in, everybody just joining. Thank you for coming in. Just seeing some new people pop in. 3 Doxies, hello. Hey, Dolphin, how are you, hun? CM, welcome in. Okay. In 2017, now that was 2016, guys, when they were searching the property. 2017 now rolls around. Now we're into July. Another search is conducted by state police at Anna Whiteside's home. Again, this is the grandmother to Brooks and to Nick. They had several properties. They had a lot of property around town. Brooks had a lot. Her attorney told WLKY investigators were looking for guns, ammunition, reloader equipment, and some other specific items. In 2018, now we're at 2018. July of that year, Brooks Hauk is indicted on unrelated theft charges. Hold on 1 second, guys. They were letting me know some food was ready if I'm hungry. Okay, I'm not though, not yet. Okay, actually it smelled good, but I'm not hungry. They having tacos in there. All right. So 2018, July of that year, Brooks is finally indicted on unrelated theft charges, though, right? He stole, guys, he stole shingles from the Lowe's. Any of y'all following the case remember when that happened? Okay, so Brooks Houck was indicted on unrelated, there's a video of him doing it, I think. Houck was indicted on unrelated theft charges, accused of stealing hundreds of dollars worth of shingles from the Lowe's. He was acquitted in April 2019. He's a contractor. Oh, I was going to pay, get that kind of thing. Acquitted, okay? Acquitted a year later. 2020, August, the FBI announces it's taking over the investigation. I wonder why in 2020 when Crystal disappeared in 2015. I really need to go over there and I guess sub up to Shay so I can figure it out because I think that from what I understand, the case manager or the lead FBI guy did a big interview with her, and it was only the second time ever she's got to talk to them. So I don't know what all they unpacked. When I was researching, getting some things ready for the show, trying to find the stuff I knew I wanted to go over to that tonight. I saw that, so I was like, okay. I'd love to unpack what the FBI knows. All right, so August, the FBI announces it takes over the investigation. Federal agents went to the homes of Brooks and Nick, as well as the Houck family farm again. They also went to a storage facility where Rogers had a unit and took her car. Okay, that's where Tommy had it stored. Crystal's dad, once the cops released the car to him, he had it stored there. And that's where it was at when that team went in with oxygen, when they took the investigator in, I was telling you guys about. Oh, and by the way, that is on YouTube. If any of you guys want to go check, I cannot play it. I will get a strike, and I so want to play it. But you can go to Oxygen Channel here on YouTube. Crystal Rogers, Stephanie Bauer is your host. They do a fantastic job, and that investigator that she works with, he's amazing. I like him a lot. They went in and just also took a look at Crystal's car. When they brought a team of forensics in, they were shocked at what they saw that wasn't done to Crystal's car, right? So now the FBI also took it. So I don't know what they ever yielded from their forensic search of the car. If anything, that may have turned up at trial that may have tied to one of the Lawsons, right? The one that drove it. 2021. August, FBI and Nelson County Sheriff searched the properties in Woodlawn Springs subdivision where Brooks Houck had built homes. So they were even going and digging up the driveways of the houses where he built. They ended up in one of the searches, I think it was the FBI search on was it the house? I don't remember if it was one of his houses or the family property. Some female clothing did turn up, but it was never confirmed to be Crystal's, okay? So FBI and Nelson County searched the properties again, and then multiple items of interest were found. Okay. Initial analysis showed there are potentially relevant to investigation into the disappearance of Crystal Rogers, said the FBI, or the FBI said at the time. In 2022 of October, FBI searches land at Pascal Ballard Lane, which was owned by the Houck family. So more property tied to the Houcks was searched. In 2023, January, a special prosecutor was appointed to the Rogers case, and two other high-profile Nelson County death investigators, including Rogers' father's death investigations. Okay, so then in September, now Joseph Lawson was indicted for conspiracy to commit murder and conspiracy tampering with physical evidence. He has a pretrial conference. Well, that's not anymore. He's done convicted. So Joseph Lawson and Stephen Lawson were father and son team, or father and son. Was it Steve that worked for Brooks? Anyway, Joe, they moved the car, right? And they got caught. They got caught up in all of it. There was a lot to unpack with those two alone. Whether that one guy, Steve, was really cooperating with the FBI or not, that was a whole sideshow. There was a lot. So for now, we'll just leave it at this. Joseph Lawson was indicted for conspiracy. They worked for Brooks and they helped Brooks carry out this crime, right? Basically is what this is. And we know they helped move the car, both of them. What else did they know and what else did they help with and what else did they cover for, right? September, Brooks is indicted for murder and tampering with evidence. On the 27th of September, Brooks was arrested and held on a whopping $10 million bond. He sure was. He was housed in the Nelson County Jail and then transferred to Hardin County. And when he put in for his bond reduction, they're like, nope. So December 8th, Steve Lawson, the father of Joseph, is charged with conspiracy to commit murder. That makes 3 people facing charges in her disappearance. December 18th, Crystal's family files a wrongful death lawsuit against Houck. Now we're in 2024. February 12th, judge lowers the bond for Joseph Lawson, cutting it in half to $250,000. March 7th, Houck requests trial to be moved out of Bardstown. He's afraid he won't get justice in the Bardstown. August 8th, Steve Lawson abruptly fires his lawyers during a hearing. Yes, he did. Fired them right then and there in the hearing. You're no good to me. Skedaddle. Lawson told Judge Charles Sims, his attorney was not doing his job. Well, he would know. Armchair attorney there. Maybe he was not happy with the guy. He said, I can't use his counsel anymore, sir. I can't use his counsel anymore. That reminds me of I can't quit you. What the hell? I can't use him anymore. That kind of reminded me of a Guns N' Roses song. Okay, never mind. Sidetracked easily. September 4. Don't insert music or I'm gone. September 4. FBI searches new home in Bardstown that has connections to the Houck family. They did a lot of searches, guys, and still have not found Crystal Rogers. Where the hell did he take her, do with her? I hate to say my speculation. Records say the house had been sold by Brooks' brother Nick in 2018, a few years after Crystal disappeared. I don't like saying her last name. I change it to Crystal. Respect. October 7, the judge moves trial out of Bardstown over to Warren County. Getting the small town vibes and all. We got to go down to the road. Got to go down the road a piece. On November 5th, the judge approves 2 separate trials in the case. Steve to be tried separate from Joseph and Houck. At first, they were all 3 combined, right? They were going to do them all 3 together, and Steve was like, oh no, I don't want that. I tried to cut a deal, and they stabbed me in the back, and I said no, and it was that kind of thing. And he got into some trouble. Simi, Simi Sharp, and the Music Girl. That's that is fantastic. What you sent me earlier, I laughed so hard. I love it though. I got mad respect. Y'all, she make. I didn't say her name correctly, and now this cute song she made about saying her name is so amazing. I'll have to share it. Okay, so now we're in 2025. We'll do that. We'll have our palette cleansing. Could be that Simi Sharp. You can make the music for us to palette cleanse too. Everybody seems to be making AI songs about other people. We'll just make fun ones, okay? We won't do them about other people. We're not two. We want fun ones. We're not trying to be the reason somebody gets in a mood on the internet because, we're not talking bad about them. We're not bullies. We're not bullies, Trisha and gang. All right. Sorry, guys. I will venture off. Jason Ellis, yes. Oh, 3 doxies. Good grief, 2 murders. Well, there's actually 4 unsolved murders in Bardstown, Kentucky. Jason Ellis, officer ambushed on his way home from duty. Tommy Ballard, father of Crystal Rogers. Kathy and Samantha Netherland, mother and daughter. We will continue to unpack all this throughout these next couple of shows, okay? It's wild, y'all. This is wild stuff. Thank you, Forrest, for linking that. The Oxygen on YouTube. There we go. Yes, this is the Crystal Rogers case was started all of this, right? So now we're in 2025. January 9, judge postpones Steve Lawson's trial to May due to a large amount of evidence needed to be reviewed. Now remember, there's no cameras allowed in Kentucky, but we have like court hearings. We were able to get some of those throughout the time. We got the trial for Brooks, but it was after the trial, right? They were releasing things. So there's all that is out there. And we'll get to all that throughout this. So January 9th, judge postpones Lawson's trial to May due to the large amount of evidence needed to be reviewed. On March 26th, it is decided that some hairs collected nearly a decade ago as evidence in the Crystal Rogers case will be tested as part of Brooks' trial. Now, follicle, no follicle, Australia labs coming in hot, maybe? Did we get results on that? I got to go back and refer to the trial. Did it even come in? I didn't get every single day update, so I know I missed some stuff. If anybody knows that hair came into trial, let me know, because I'm on it. I need to know from so many standpoints, right? First thing, the DNA of it all, my mind's going nuts with that right now. Hair, untested hair, follicle, and all that. May 27, trial begins for Steve Lawson. Again, this was last year. So Steve's trial began on May 27th. May 30th, 27th, that trial began, guys. The 30th, Lawson was found guilty on both counts. What was it, a 3-day trial there? Conspiracy to murder and tampering with physical evidence. June 24, jury selection begins for trial number 2, joint trial for Houck and Joseph Lawson. July 8th, jury reaches the verdict in the trial, finding Houck guilty of murder and both he and Joseph Lawson guilty on all counts. Okay? Now, it's bad enough when your daughter goes missing, right? And you're doing everything you can as a family to try to find her and locate her and get an answer. How far would you go? How many feathers would you ruffle, right? How many doors would you knock on? Cages would you rattle? Do all the things, right? Most of us would. Especially in our small town that we have been our entire lives, right? I've been here my entire life, and one of y'all, my baby's gone. One of y'all is about to answer for that, right? That's what's going down. But here's a little more backstory on the family of Crystal Rogers. Crystal Rogers, not first woman in her family to go missing. 40 years ago, well, it's been longer than that now, Tommy Ballard's pregnant sister, Sherry Ballard Barnes, was murdered by her husband and his friend. Oh, my kid's phone battery was dying. That's what that noise was. He's at work with a dead battery, okay. Bardstown, Kentucky. Crystal Rogers' disappearance and her father Tommy Ballard's subsequent murder catapulted the tiny town of Bardstown into the national eye. And while their cases shocked the community and devastated loved ones, the Ballard family has been all too familiar with tragedy. The family that has called Bardstown home for generations lost a member long before Crystal Rogers was born. Sherry Ballard Barnes. Hold on one second. Okay. So Sherry Ballard Barnes. Her name was actually Frida Shireen Ballard, and they called her Sherry. Okay. So this was Tommy's sister. They say time heals everything, but it couldn't. But it don't, said Till Ballard. Now, Till Ballard is the father of Sherry Ballard Barnes and Tommy Ballard and grandfather to Crystal Rogers. They say time heals everything, but it don't, Till Ballard said. Unless it happens to you, you know you get up with it in the morning and you go to bed with it. It's never, never off in my mind. Till Ballard has endured hardships only so many can understand. His son was killed in front of his grandson, which Tommy was standing next to his grandson, y'all, early in the morning, get ready to go hunting when he was taken out, murdered, like just assassinated, basically, right in front of that child. So Till Ballard and his mama was missing, right? And now his grandpa is laying there like that in front of him. Till Ballard has endured hardships only so many can understand. His son was killed in front of his grandson, or his great grandson, rather. His granddaughter is still considered a missing case, and 40 years ago, his pregnant daughter was murdered. Sherry Ballard Barnes was only 19 when she never returned home from running errands. She was going to get a car repair done. Sherry was 7.5 months pregnant, Till said. Her husband wanted a divorce, but Sherry wouldn't give it to him. Police found Sherry's car 45 miles from her home, but her body would not be discovered for several agonizing years. Eventually, her husband, Eddie Barnes, and his friend George Weir were charged with murder. They knocked her in the head and took her down there on Bellwood Road to his trailer and got out and got a gun and took her someplace and shot her in the back, Till said, and left her for dead. Betty Ballard, the family matriarch, said Weir said they took her remains to his house, set them on fire, and scattered them on the farm where he lived. Tragedy returns. A jury convicted 19-year-old Sherry's killers, helping the Ballards find peace until their 35-year-old granddaughter went missing. Now, can you imagine you deal with that way back then, right? 1979, January 19, 1979, Sherry Ballard Barnes goes missing. And then they discover her murdered, and not only that, your grandchild as well. And then Years, decades later, your granddaughter is now missing. Do you know how that probably sent that man into a tailspin? He says, I thought, well, they done the same thing to Crystal that the ones done to Sherry. Mm. Till said all the heartbreak Till said of all the heartbreak and anger from Sherry's murder came flooding back. The family was desperate for answers. You know, it's sad when somebody murders your family. There's nothing you can do about it. But we don't want pity, Till said. We just want answers. We want justice. We don't want pity. The night of Crystal's disappearance was like a reoccurring nightmare the family thought they had escaped, and that was only the beginning. While they may be familiar with tragedy, the Ballards have not given up finding answers for Crystal and Tommy. Um, so for Till Ballard, right? His daughter Sherry, his granddaughter Crystal, then his son Tommy are all taken from him by murder. How rare is that for one man? That's a lot, you know what I mean? That's like a pillar of strength if you ask me. I'm like, I wanna take a moment for that man, Jesus Christ. Fuck, I've been through some shit, but that's a lot. Mm. And now if he can just find justice for Tommy before it's too late for him to see it, right? And the unborn baby, Pammy. Exactly. You can't forget that loss because you know they mourned that as well, right? Everybody was probably excited for the baby. She was 7.5 months pregnant at that point. Um, it's just even before I knew all that years ago when I found that stuff out, you know, the case alone for Crystal Rogers um, drew me in the first time I ever heard about it. And then Tommy was murdered. And then, you know, learning about Sherry and all that, it was like, what this family goes through and has been through. And Crystal had, you know, four amazing children. And then she had the baby with Brooks. Brooks' family has him. They always have. Of course, when Crystal disappeared, he stayed with his dad. And when his dad was arrested, Sherry Ballard tried to get her grandson, but the courts gave him to the biological dad's family, right? And they're still having, you know, all of that go on. There's been some courts about all that as well, as far as custody for his name comes up a lot, so it's Eli. Brooks says his name a bunch of times in interviews and stuff we're going to be listening to. So when they refer to Eli, that's the baby. He's not a baby anymore, right? He's not a baby anymore. He's so much older. But when you listen to Brooks Houck talk about his son after his conviction, it is abundantly clear that man uses that child and always has to his benefit. And you tug on heartstrings, all the things. It's me. Maybe it's a me thing, but I think you can hear it. Y'all will unpack it with me as we move through it. Thank y'all for being here with me and being interested in a true crime case. I needed a break from all that crazy I see going on out there. I don't know what's happening right now. There's just a bunch of ay moments. I just want to close my eyes. I'm like scrolling, trying to find something good to watch about a crime, you know, or a good discussion. And I'm all this other stuff I'm seeing. And I'm like, ooh. Big City Dan did have a live, him and Maureen and the guys. That was cool. I got to listen to that. Okay. And I really want to follow what's going to go on with Nick, because if Nick is only charged with this perjury, carries 1 to 5 years. Is that the end of Nick? Is that the end of it, right? Is Nick going to get away with a slap on the wrist for some lying? Um, Here's your little punishment, now go away. Will he Come on, man, you bought the gun from him that you think shot Tommy Ballard. What's wrong with that evidence? Is it the ballistics is the issue? It's abundantly clear. We'll unpack that eventually too. Okay, let me. Oh, well, never mind. I'm going to make that its own standalone thing. Just, no, I didn't forget about you, baby girl. Oh, you're right there. Okay, moving on. We'll just moving on. Okay, so Nick had his arraignment, right? And what was crazy about this arraignment, such an arrogant family, such a I'm in control. Well, when you see Brooks, you'll understand more if you haven't seen him yet, and when you see his sister, you'll hear it. Now you're going to get to see Nick for a moment at his arraignment just the other day on the 18th. Nick goes to court without his attorney, and then he says the strangest stuff in the courtroom. I was like scratching my head, going, "What did he just say?" Really, because he literally says to the judge, his attorney needs to hear more before taking the case. And the judge is like, but you're here on arraignment. What do y'all have to hear it with your own ears? I can't do it justice. The judge throws shade. I loved it. Hold on. Okay, this is a video that, well, I got the hearing, the arraignment, right? But also had video of the Houck family waiting to go in and Sherry Ballard arriving, and I just kind of coupled them together. So that's what this is. And then the hearing is directly after that. There's and that is that would be Nick over there in the blue shirt. There's Sherry Ballard walking in, right? So now they call Nick up.
Mr. Houck, were you able to get a hold of your attorney?
I did. He told me to go ahead and just proceed on without him.
Proceed on without him.
And Your Honor,
My attorney said to go on and proceed without him. And the judge says, proceed on without him? I'm like, what? What kind of Kentucky shit is this, sir?
The Commonwealth reached out directly to Honorable Wren, and he essentially said he's not been retained, and that's the reason he's not here and he's not entering an appearance.
Okay.
He hasn't been retained and he's not entering an appearance. They reached out to the defense. Hey, dude, you coming to court?
All right, Mr. Houck, how long is it going to take you to retain an attorney?
he's going to be my attorney. This is something I can deal with without him here.
He's telling the Commonwealth he hasn't been retained, is what they're saying.
Okay. Yeah, he wants to figure out what you guys are getting at before he kind of makes a decision. So
He wants to know what you guys are doing. What now?
yeah,
The judge said, that judge said, do what now? What are you guys getting at, Judge? Damn it.
I've been charged with perjury, and I have no idea why you guys have charged me with that.
First of all, I don't charge people with perjury, so.
I'm just saying the state police or whoever involved.
Well, is he your attorney or not?
He's not today, but I mean, he's going to be. That's what I'm saying. We've talked several times, and he wants some information on the case to be able to make a decision.
Whoa, why would the defense attorney need more information on the case before making a decision when you've got arraignment, sir? That makes no sense, no logical sense whatsoever. The attorney wants to know, did you do it, Nick? How bad is it before I represent you? What's going on here?
Well, I'm going to conduct arraignment here today. I'm going to ask one of the public defenders to stand in since you don't have an attorney with you today.
All right.
He gets to stand in public defender. Hey, Rocky Mountain hippie. I love that name. Right out of the gate. Love it, love it. I'm part hippie. part a lot of things. Hippie is one. There's a few things. Hippie's one. New here. Glad you're covering this case. I've been interested in this and wished it would have been televised. We do too. We do have good clips from the trial though of Brooks. We're going to get into in a couple of other shows, but yeah, we would have loved to have seen the trial televised.
Ms. Rankins, here is a copy of the indictment.
Thank you, Judge. Judge, we waive formal arraignment and our plea of not guilty regarding the charge. I reserve the right to make any and all motions and request a pretrial and jury trial date.
At this time, let the record reflect formal reading of the indictment has been waived. The court's going to enter a plea of not guilty to the charge and preserve for counsel the right to file any and all motions on behalf of the defendant. What I need is to have an attorney present that's going to be representing Mr. Houck. Mr. Houck, how long is it going to take to get your attorney present?
It can be done today.
Okay, then on July 2nd, I'm going to put this on the docket. I need your attorney to be present, and on that date, the court will set the case for trial and pretrial, okay? July 2nd at 9 o'clock, the court will set the case for trial and pretrial on that date.
And Judge, were we appointed only for the purposes of arraignment?
You're not been appointed at all. You're just standing in for
Just
purpose of
standing
this
in.
proceeding,
Okay.
so I had an attorney to handle this matter, but no, you have not been appointed for anything.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Okay, thank
Your
you.
Honor, the Commonwealth also has a pending motion to correct the date on the indictment from April 16th to August 16th. We filed that pursuant to the Rule of Criminal Procedure 6.16, as well as Anderson versus Commonwealth. I would just ask that the court go ahead and enter our order today, allowing us to amend that date.
I will take all that up on July 2nd when he has his attorney present, okay?
Oh,
Is that all, Judge?
That's all. Thank you.
we'll change that date when he has an attorney present. I like you. Judge, at the moment, to be fair, I like you at this moment. I like your ruling so far. That could change any moment, but right now I like it. Okay? So,
Okay, I believe we're waiting for Mr.
Sherry's
Spalding.
there at the
Okay,
courthouse.
the court's going to take a recess until Mr. Spalding gets here. Is there anybody else in the courtroom
And
that's
her
here
brother.
for a case that
The guy in the blue, light blue next to Sherry is her son. I like that guy. He's so nice.
has not been called?
He's had to take care of his mama. You know what I mean? So hats off to that guy for sure. Yeah, exactly. How deep is this going to go before I decide to be your attorney? What kind of attorney does that, right? Well, maybe. Usually it's like come consult, come have a consultation, and you go meet with the attorney and you tell them, I guess, and then they're like, okay, yes or no, let's get busy. This attorney's like, no, you go on down there, see what they're getting at, come back and let me know, and then we'll see. Judge is like, what in the hell kind of cornbread shit is this? And I'm from the South, so I can say stuff like that. Oh boy, Bardstown, what are you doing? It's Kentucky, and I'm nervous. We already got, that Letcher County stuff going down. Oh, how far are they? Like, hey, map time. Hold up. How far are they apart? Should we be nervous? People still posting Florida man shit, so I no shade, but I'm just saying, what's going on here? I'm just curious, y'all, about something. Oh, it's right here. Whitesburg. Okay. About 4.5 hours from each other. Yeah, there's Pikeville, Hazard County. Bardstown. Okay, yeah, about 4.5 hours away from each other. Letcher County, Kentucky, and Bardstown, Kentucky. I'm about 3 hours away from Tallahassee. Like, I don't know what's going down in Tallahassee. Y'all know what I'm saying? Well, it's about 4 hours. It depends. 3.5, 4. It depends on who you are and how fast you go. I don't know. Okay. Let me get a couple of things set up here. Oh. Attorney totally noted out. Like, what the? Have y'all ever heard that in a case ever where the defendant says something like that? My attorney wants to know what y'all are getting at. That's what blew me away. I about fell out of my chair. Not what my formal charges are, nothing like that, you know. What are y'all getting at? I cannot. That's insane. What are y'all getting at? Okay, there we go. Finally. There we go. I gifted out 5 memberships. BMD, 3 doxies. Marcia, double 007. Cop wife, cop mom. Not a welcome in. Welcome in. Thank you guys for joining us and be a part of the conversation. Y'all chat it up. Y'all know we like that. In fact, let me get over here where I can see chats on this screen here. I gotta fix it. Okay, now. Does that show up on the, I don't know what that looks like on the screen. It could be very annoying. I don't know. I wonder if I know how to take it off now. Oh, right there. Oh, y'all don't even see it yet, maybe. That would scare you off, that attorney, right? I mean, what kind of crap is that? I never heard of that before. The oddest you've heard is when they called Corey Ricken's boyfriend and he questioned the part of tell the truth, right? Could you explain that part of tell the truth? Like, what? What's wrong with people? Has common sense really just that far gone? Maybe for some people it is. You know, they don't have common sense. I want to take this down because if a video's up, that could be distracting. When I'm watching a chat, if I'm watching something and there's like a video we're watching, that kind of, it gets in my way. Like, okay. Well, that's not what I wanted. All right, let me get my stuff together here. Here we go. That goes there. Out of the way. Okay, so after Nick had his arraignment, the local affiliate there in Louisville, WLKY, spoke with Sherry Ballard for a minute. We're going to take a look at that. So we're kind of going to move through the case, right? We're getting the backstory that I started out with at the beginning of the show. We've talked about Crystal's disappearance, Tommy's death, and even the backstory going back to Tommy's sister, you know, in 1979 with her murder. And here we are today with Nick now being charged with perjury. So this was Sherry Ballard today, or on the 18th after his arraignment. Let me get her up here.
Yeah, well, I was wondering about his attorney because we hadn't heard anything, and I was kind of shocked that he showed up without an attorney.
I definitely was too.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, do you hope that, you know, it's obviously just a perjury case, charge, do you hope more comes of that?
I'm always praying for that. Mm-hmm. But today I'm going to take one day at a time and take what I get.
Yeah, absolutely. And are you hoping that any more charges come to Rosemary and to the other family?
Well, I hope they get the whole entire family.
And how do you feel about, I guess, he kind of got a little frustrated up there, you know, his sense of entitlement?
I think he is the one that has the anger issues in the family, and I think he's the one that you can get most upset.
If this goes to trial, I mean,
Yes.
do you think that it could come out even
Yes,
more?
yes, ma'am.
Do you feel like you're getting
Now, keep in mind, Sherry has dealt with these people for years, right? A very long time.
closer and closer to more justice?
I hope so. I mean, this is a step in the right direction, right? So, yeah, I'm going to take what I get, like I said, and move forward.
Just surprised the whole family was there. Just the house, just they stick together.
Yes, they do. They do. But they're going to come apart one day.
Sherry, you said this was going to be a good day today to see him in court. How did it feel to
Yes.
see him?
It felt good because that's another member of that family that may be paying for what he did to my family.
Sherry, were you surprised he didn't have an attorney?
I was shocked he did not have an attorney.
Have you ever heard of that before? An attorney wants to hear a little bit more about the case before taking it on?
No, no, and I'm in court trying to Google his attorney, who he said was his attorney, and I don't know. The only thing I could come up with was someone in Mississippi. So I don't know.
What does that say to you about what an attorney might think of this case?
If I was an attorney, I would not touch this case. But you know, I'm coming from the victim side, so I can't understand anyone wanting to defend the house. No one. But you know, I'm coming from the victim side, and of course, I'm going to say that.
It was just about a year ago this week that we were all getting ready to go to Bowling Green for a big old trial. Could you have ever imagined that you'd be back here in Nelson County in court on your daughter's case with another member of the Houck family?
I've been waiting for that day. Yes, I could imagine that because I've been waiting for that day, and I've really pushed for these perjury charges, and I'm praying that he's going to be found guilty of this. And if not, he still has to be here. He still had to pay a bond. He still had to do all that and go through that. So that's a little bit of justice for my family anyway.
What did you think when he said, "I've got no idea why I'm here"? They're saying perjury.
I don't understand that family at all. You know, he's a police officer. He knew exactly what he was doing. He knew exactly what was happening in there. So I don't know.
You think it's an act?
I think so.
Do you think he's taking this seriously?
I don't know. I don't know how that family works. They're so different. They're just a different family, but I think he better take it serious because, yeah.
Have you heard how Brooks is doing?
Thank you.
Have you heard how Brooks is handling prison life?
No, I don't hear anything about him. So I wish, I wish I could, but
that kind of surprised me when Sherry said that, because Sherry's always so, y'all see how she is. She's amazing. This is like the sweetest lady and the most humble lady, strongest lady that you can't, it's hard to see her when she's mad. But she does not hide her feelings, right? It's just the way she's just matter of fact, and she moves on to the next thing. And so I like it when she's like that. So shout out to, I mean, victims that go through so much, right? And have to endure all these court things, right? They got the trials, the investigation, finally getting arrests done. And, now then the trial comes, and do they get convicted? And now they got Brooks finally convicted of Crystal's murder. But what about Tommy, right? And will this lead to that? So that's the biggest takeaway from this perjury stuff. And will it lead to more? Are they still investigating him in any way? Since they said they bought the gun from him tied to Tommy's death. They said that, not us, right? The authorities said it. So why are we just going with a perjury charge here? If I was her, I would also be a little aggravated with that. Because when it was said in court that the gun purchased from Nick Houck was tied to the death of Tommy Ballard, matching 4 out of 5 criteria. So if that's the case, stated in court, why are we sitting here with a perjury charge carrying a 1 to 5 year sentence?
Yeah, no, I don't hear anything about him.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time. I really
Green
appreciate
is your
it.
color.
All right. She's just amazing. Doxy, 3 doxies sent some floating hearts, was it? I think. Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, floating hearts. I appreciate that. And welcome. Welcome aboard here. All right, guys. So I wanted to share her reaction after Nick's arraignment, right? Because could you imagine you finally feel relief? Not, I don't know if relieve's even the right word. That finally some justice for Crystal. But what about Tommy? Because what happened to Tommy was completely unfair. What do we know? We don't do that. We don't unalive men standing next to their grandsons trying to go hunting on their own property. That's insane. Now, on that oxygen link, you will find in Stephanie, and I wish I could recall that detective's name. Oh my gosh, I can't. Well, during their investigation, they take a team goes out to where Tommy was murdered in the field on his property, and they can pinpoint where they think the location of the shooter was. It's amazing work, and it's worth y'all taking a look into, especially as I'm going to be unpacking some of this. We're going to be going over some of the trial stuff. There's jailhouse calls, right, with Brooks. First, we're going to look at interrogations between Brooks and then one with his brother Nick, right after Crystal disappeared. Because during Brooks' interrogation, Nick calls him. At the time, Nick's still a Bardstown police officer, right? They're both little Billy Badass and they're together. Well, if you tell me not to talk, brother, if you tell me I should just be quiet, I'll just be quiet. That kind of thing. It's ew, right? So now we got Mr. No longer a cop charged with perjury. So let me see what we're going to look at next. Thank you, 3 doxies. There's so much to this and so many layers. You can't do it all right. So I knew this was going to be more than a one night thing. We're going to move through it all, trying to get to where the Nick Houck now and the Jason Ellis of it all, right? Because you can't get there without going there. And I've been following Crystal Rogers' case, gosh, since she disappeared, right? I remember I don't know if it was a Dateline or what it was where I saw my very first Crystal Rogers disappearance episode, right? And it was maybe about a year after she disappeared, if that long. And then when I got on YouTube or was doing stuff on YouTube and researching through YouTube, I found a lot of other stuff, and then I found her family, and then all the things, the interviews, and different things. So there's a lot of information out there, but not a lot of people covered Crystal Rogers' case, right? Because at the time, true crime, like on YouTube, wasn't as much of a thing in 2015 compared to these days, right? So it's always been a case that has been with me. But Shay McAllister's breakdowns were always amazing to me. So hats off for her. And then me, pulling from the timelines and I'm trying to name the sources where I'm getting this information from for you guys as well, because that's important. We don't want bogus information. We're not down with all that shit. We prefer the facts, ma'am. Okay, so we took a look at that. Now let's take a look at this news clip here, and it's about Tommy. So that's why I want to show this. Tommy Ballard, Crystal Rogers' father. He fought so hard for his daughter. In the Oxygen special, the family, Sherry, gives the investigator Tommy's investigation records. Tommy literally had so much I don't know what the FBI had of that, how much access, or did they scan any of it, take copies? I don't really know what the FBI actually got from that. But there is a letter in there from a man in prison written to Tommy Ballard describing land, people. Yeah, we have to unpack that eventually too, okay? We'll get there. We'll get there. There's a lot of layers, guys. At least Brooks is in prison and also already tried to appeal. The judge is like, sir, sit down. We have that opinion as well. We'll get there eventually. I'm a Gemini, y'all. I got to take it all in, so you're going with me. Pinto 120, hi, new sub. None covers this online anymore. I live in Illinois, but from Hazard. Oh, wow. Okay, cool. Hazard County. Hell yeah, in the house. Nice. Well, welcome in. Thank you. Your insight is going to be fabulous because I always say we all come from many different walks of life, and that's what makes our community beautiful because we can all bring things to the table, right? And y'all know, join the conversation. That's what we like around here. Okay, so this is a news clip here.
Tomorrow marks 2 weeks since Brooks Houck and Joseph Lawson were both convicted in Crystal Rogers' disappearance and presumed murder. Both men and Steve Lawson, also convicted, will be sentenced next month. But Wave News reporter Alina Noakes tells us the Ballard family says their journey to justice is far from over.
For years, this spot on Ballard family property has served as a sacred place. This, a memorial to Tommy Ballard and his life, but also a constant reminder of his death and the answers this family still doesn't have.
When I got there, I saw lights on an ambulance, a sheriff's car, and as I got closer, I saw a sheriff deputy in the field.
It's a memory that Mike Ballard will never be able to erase. November 19th, 2016, in a field where there are usually cattle, now covered in police cars and lying on the ground.
I saw a sheet. My brother was covered over, so I knew he was dead.
A November deer hunt with his grandson that started out so normal when literally out of nowhere, someone shot Tommy in the chest.
The boy heard no gunfire, only Ballard telling him he'd been shot before collapsing.
There was no doubt in my mind. I never thought for 1 second it was an accident.
Ballard's death would eventually be ruled a homicide, and in the family's mind, they believe his death is connected to his daughter's murder. Ballard spent every waking moment looking for his daughter, Crystal Rogers. The Bardstown mother disappeared on the 4th of July weekend in 2015.
We're searching for Crystal again. I mean, we come out every day.
He never stopped looking, never stopped working on it, calling people, writing notes.
He was a dad determined to find his daughter, and the family believes he was getting too close.
I truly believe, again, that the two cases are involved. Tommy wasn't going to give up, and I think he was getting closer and closer, and I think they just thought they had to put an end to it.
They being his daughter's killers, now convicted Joseph and Steve Lawson, Brooks Houck, and perhaps other members.
So Brooks on the left, Joseph in the center, and Daddy Steve on the far right.
Of the Houck
smirking ass Brooks over there.
Family, but suspicion and belief are only placeholders in lieu of justice.
The family is offering a $50,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the person or persons responsible for the murder of Tommy Ballard.
The Ballard family now increasing their reward for information.
See that highway there? See down there where the memorial is at? Okay, so when they go in that oxygen investigation, they estimate that shooter to be over here in the tree line near this highway, right? And there's a particular tree they analyze, and they think they know where the shooter was even standing. It's crazy, y'all, how they did it. It's fascinating to watch from a forensic standpoint like that. You know what I mean? How they ended up concluding that was how they got there was the cool part. But so did a car drop somebody off out here on the highway, or did a car pull over and pretend to be broke down somewhere out there? Where'd they come from? Somebody shot Tommy Ballard, but where were they? Where'd they come from?
At this point, they're just waiting for investigators to act, but they're determined they're not going to just sit around and wait.
You want to do something and you want it out there. You want people to know that, you're not giving up, that you care, and you want other people to care, and they do. This community really cares.
This is not the end for Tommy Ballard. Now with justice for his daughter Crystal, his family believes justice for Tommy is closer than ever. In Nelson County, Alina Noakes, Wave News.
Closer than ever. Well, the guy's got perjury charges at the moment, so we'll see. Because somebody certainly unalived Mr. Tommy Ballard, and it wasn't like a hunting accident because there were no other hunters out there. Hold on one second, guys. My grandson had to tell me about his Father's Day plans. Okay, that was cute. Sorry, thank you guys for giving me that moment there. Yeah, Tommy knew way too much. People didn't like Tommy asking questions and doing what Tommy was doing. He had so much evidence in those. I saw the crates. Sherry gave them to the investigators, and he's got them on the table. And I think there was at least 3 boxes of this just documents, and then that's where the letter from the prisoner was at. They will talk about in the series, the link we dropped. But yes, they've been through a lot, and how much more? I mean, just enough's enough. And it's baffling to know that they claim they bought the gun from Nick Hauk that ties to Tommy's death. So why are we just doing these perjury charges? I can't get past that. That's weird. All I can figure is the ballistics is not strong enough. Do you just got weak circumstantial evidence at best, and you feel it's best not to go forward with stronger charges yet because you may not win? I mean, what's happening? Some kind of weird Kentucky laws. They got that emotional disturbance happening over there. There's 2 people in Kentucky right now arguing extreme emotional disturbance. Is that what it's called? It's a thing in Kentucky. Mickey's doing it, and so is that girl that had the baby and put it in the closet. Lakin, whatever her name was. She's doing the same thing Mickey Steins is doing. The same defense. I'll take that back. She is not doing the same thing Mickey Steins is doing. That's a whole separate thing, but they're both using that same line of defense because it is a thing in Kentucky, right? But they're one might be true and one no. I got no. Okay. Wait 1 second. Now, who's gonna want to hire a lawyer like that that's gonna honestly tell them, right, to go and go on and go to court and see see what they got. Here we go. That's crazy. But is that arrogance coming through that I can just walk into that courtroom and talk to that judge like that and say that, and they're just like going to be like, okay, I get it. Well, here's what we're getting at. Since you asked, we're getting at you lied to the grand jury, and apparently from 2015 through 2023 you were lying. That's according to the indictment. Perjury was committed between 2015 and 2023. Right, sir? Like, what are we doing? I would have said, you know what? Well, you can't because he's got due process and all. I would have been like, appoint this man an attorney. First, he's got to fill out the financials. Is he poor enough? If you got enough money, you better go get an attorney. Okay. I can't with the Hauk brothers. Oh, wait, I saw a comment earlier, and it was like, I smiled. Happy asked Pammy a question. What happens in Mexico stays in Mexico, Pammy. Okay? I see you. That's fabulous. Uh-oh. Wait. It went to the wrong one. Okay. Let's see. Let me get this where I can see it again. Oh. Okay, so after, multiple searches of the Hauk family property and all these things, we've seen the story. We know now that Tommy was also murdered 16 months after Crystal disappeared. He was never let up, looking for her everywhere he could, and doing all the things he could think of to investigate it, right? So then the new information came up, and there was this piece here that came out. Now, this one was actually kind of, I don't know if I've ever seen this one, because I was like, wait a second, I don't know if I've seen this, because I honestly don't think I've seen this. So if any of you've seen it in the chat, let me know. I don't know, we're going to let him talk, but there was footage taken right around the time Crystal disappeared, right? Because they were together on the July 4th, according to Brooks. And apparently these cars were seen in that location or near that location. Like, what does it even mean if it's the day after? So let's watch this together, and y'all tell me what you think about it.
Several recent new developments in that case. It all started after human remains were found near the Nelson-Washington County line 2 weeks ago. Although these remains have not yet been identified, the FBI has already taken over the case. Hundreds of agents are descending upon Bardstown to serve multiple search warrants. LX18's Eleanor Buckley has the latest in this investigation.
This past week, the FBI has been busy digging through years-old information. Quickly after they took over the case on Thursday, more than 100 agents served multiple search warrants around Nelson County and spent several hours inside the home of Brooks Hauk, Roger's ex-boyfriend. And although no arrests were made, they did leave with a lot of property. One neighbor told us the FBI's involvement in the investigation is long overdue.
Nothing's moved with state police, nothing's moved with the sheriff's office, nothing, things need to happen for that family.
And now the FBI Louisville is asking for the public's help in finding out more information on these two photos. The two new photos show two vehicles that were driving or stationed around several investigation points. This first photo shows a red SUV and a white SUV driving down Loretto Road near my old Kentucky home campground. No time was given, though, on when it was taken. The second photo was taken July 4th, 2015 at around 3:45 a.m. That's one day after Crystal Rogers went missing, and her car and belongings were found on the Bluegrass Parkway. This photo shows an unknown vehicle with its headlights on traveling across Balltown Road near the intersection of Pascal Ballard Road, again not far from the Hoax family farm. And Crystal Rogers' mother, Sherry Ballard, who has been adamant about keeping her daughter's investigation alive by responding to hundreds of media requests throughout the years, has been silent these past couple of weeks as Rogers' family reflects on over 5 years of painful memories that are still yet to be uncovered.
I do know it's coming, so I have to be patient for that.
Eleanor Buckley, LEX 18 News.
In the Crystal Rogers case, Brooks Hauk's sister took the stand.
Okay. I had to drink some water. Okay. Okay, why was mother not charged? I said mother because, like, I make fun of that. Why was the mother not charged recording with her phone with the grand jury? Exactly. Because in court, when they said Nick and Rosemary were going to be guilty of perjury, right? Are these charges? And we know the family did the grand jury recordings, and we're about to take a look at something to do with that. Okay, I think it's some of Rhonda's testimony that would have been. Hang on, let me get it up here. I think it was Rhonda's testimony about the recordings. Let me see. I think she tried to tell them that she recorded it, but she wasn't aware that her family was also recording. Like, what? No, that doesn't make any sense, ma'am. We know better. Jeez. Trying to insult our intelligence. I was recording, but I had no idea they were also doing that too. Like, damn, y'all are whole ass suspicious family, are you? What was the point of recording? Why would you do that? To compare that nobody lied or everybody had their story straight. Okay, so here's okay. Let me get this. So this is Brooke's sister Rhonda. Now currently the son and their son, and like I said, you'll hear his name throughout the time these interviews and stuff because Brooks says his name, the family. But anyway, their son lives with the sister Rhonda.
Took the stand this morning testifying in her brother's defense while defending herself against claims that she participated in the alleged conspiracy to kill Crystal.
Her testimony led to Brooks showing emotion in the courtroom for the very first time since he's been on trial. Rogers disappeared on 4th of July weekend back in 2015. Her then boyfriend Houck and 2 of his employees have been accused in her death.
And Wave News reporter Lena Noakes tells us that Rhonda McElvoy's testimony was the big moment in the defense's case.
Yeah, the defense used her testimony to try and dispute claims made against the family, while the prosecution used her testimony to try to corroborate some family-wide cover-up of this alleged crime. Now, the big question today surrounded her grand jury testimony that had been recorded. The prosecution asked her if there was a coordinated effort made by the family to record those grand juries. She says no, and that she learned on the news that others had recorded it too. Prosecutors pressed her on that recording, asking about a moment Houck appears to tell her to record it even though she doesn't want to. He mentions Nick knowing where to find it, but it's too hard to make out exactly what he says next. McElvoy says she does not remember that conversation and tries to distance Nick from that recording, saying that he has a hard time with electronics and phones. She said her decision to record.
Nick has a hard time with electronics and phones. It's hard to hear, y'all. It is for me on my headphones, but Nick has a hard time with electronics and phones. What? Is Nick, well, okay.
Was based on a gut feeling. She goes on to say, I remember not knowing exactly what I was walking into. I remember things being leaked to the media, the accusations, just the paranoia. Now, those accusations and threats against her family actually caused her to move her immediate family to North Carolina in later that year, and at some point they returned in 2017, especially with local law enforcement and the FBI both accusing her directly in this crime. Now, like you said at the
They've directly accused her, all of them. They've just so now that Nick has been just recently arrested, right? Nick was just arraigned. Who else is about to be arraigned on charges of perjury? Ooh, is there more to come this week? That'd be interesting to see. Y'all be on standby, be on alert. Damn, be on alert, y'all. Rosemary, TikTok.
beginning, I did note that Brooks Houck was very emotional at the defense table, visibly wiping away tears at times. Meanwhile, the Ballard family was sitting behind me. I could hear they were getting kind of frustrated with her testimony and just hoping that the jury was going to press her for more information, and they did. For now, in Warren County, Alina Noakes, Wave News.
All right. Well, thank you, Miss Alina. Okay. Let me take a look and see what you guys are saying. Pinto, yes. See, I have been shouting out Shay through my whole show. I consumed all of Shay's content because that's my girl when it comes to this case. You are so correct. Shay McAllister doesn't allow anything to get by her. She and Sherry are friends now. They are. And I was just saying earlier that she's got over on her Facebook, I saw I think an interview with the FBI case agent. So I have to go in there and over there and explore that, right? Because I love Shay's reporting, and we will be reviewing some of her work here on the YouTube as we move through some of this, because she did do Bardstown podcast, right? I think she did two. Where is it? I have it. Okay, so there was the original podcast. It was was it just Bardstown, I think it was called. There was also one called Back to Bardstown, I think, but there was two separate ones because one would include the Ellis and the Netherlands cases with it as well, right? So she does a lot of great work there with Shay. She's great. FBI don't play with accusations either. No, they don't, Pammy. And they said it in court. That's what we're waiting on, because during the trial is when there was like not accusations anymore, right? Dead ass. We know you did it, Rosemary and or Nick rather. So we're like, okay, well, why are we not now? We got Nick going to court, arraigned, just got arrested June 4th, arraigned on the 18th. So who's next week? Ooh, stay tuned, right? What does that mean if no other charges come? Wouldn't that be wild? No, we can't have that. And what about this ballistics? Because where's the piece that I have where the guy says it in court? Hang on, because that's important. What they say in court is everything, right? That's what matters in the end, no matter what we think and what our theories may be. What's happening in that courtroom is the end result, and that's all that matters. So this is what was said. Which one is it? Let's see here. Okay. It would be this one. Okay. Now, this is a report about them tying the gun to Nick.
A bombshell revelation in court today as Brooks Houck was arraigned for the murder of Crystal Rogers. For the first time ever, prosecutors are linking the investigation into the murder of Tommy Ballard, Rogers' father, to the Houck family. Appearing via video from the Hardin County Jail, Brooks Houck was arraigned today. He's facing charges of murder and tampering with evidence in connection to the 2015 disappearance of his girlfriend, Crystal Rogers. When asked about the future of the case, the setting a trial date, the prosecution said there are more than 1,000 pages of evidence. He also said they're waiting on tests to come back on the firearm they believe was used to murder Tommy Ballard in 2016. And he revealed the gun came from Brooks Houck's brother.
A firearm that we purchased from Nicholas Houck, who was using a fake name when he sold the rifle. We know it's the same caliber. There's 5 criteria that they're looking at, and so far it's matched 4 of the 5 criteria.
Matched 4 of the 5 criteria, said right there in open court during Brooks Houck's trial. We bought this from Nick Houck, and he was using a different name. And his idiot ass sold it to a FBI agent, apparently. 4 out of 5. Damn ballistic tests, right? What are you going to do with them? Damn it, man. What's going on? Why do we got just simple perjury? as that reporter put it to Sherry Ballard, which I felt like, did you have to say it like that? Which I didn't. I just let it go, but I thought it. Simple perjury, 1 to 5 years. But we bought the gun that we believe killed Tommy Ballard from Nick Houck. Why would Nick have that gun? Doesn't require further investigation?
At this time, no members of the Houck family have been charged in connection with Tommy Ballard's death. An attorney for Brooks Houck argued for his bond to be lowered from $10 million to $500,000 cash. The judge says he'll make a ruling on Houck's bond.
That'd be Rosemary.
As soon as possible.
Joining me right now, in addition to her
Oh,
parents,
okay. Throwback. Look at there, y'all. Throwback to look, Nancy Grace, look at her. Look. Hang on. I don't know if your screen's caught up to me. Okay. What I guess I had queued up next, what this is, so I was going to go back kind of like through the beginning and like so we could get a taste of the players, right? These characters. We saw a little bit of Rhonda up there admitting to recording stuff. We record stuff. That's what we do over here in the Houck family, which is, we thought it was cool to do that. We didn't know. Whatever. Brooks goes on the Nancy Grace show. Because Brooks is so arrogant, he believes he can talk his way out of a wet paper bag. But he's never met our Nancy Grace. Are y'all ready for this? Buckle up, buttercups. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, right? This was actually, I believe, subpoenaed at one point. It ain't her first go around with subpoenas. Anyway, here's Brooks Houck on the Nancy Grace show. I will be stopping to commentate, but in the beginning, I'm going to mute for a moment and take a break and get a drink and do the things for a minute, and I'll be right back on in a second. But we'll let Nancy take it away. Fair use and all. Nancy, we will stop and commentate, ma'am. Been watching you just for fuck's sake to say it. Always do. Been watching you since 1990 something. You and Casey Anthony, we go way back, right? 3.5 years deep, solid every night, everything and anything we could get our hands on. Nancy had it all. I was there for every single bit of it. All right. And Haley Cummings. Nancy, we should do a show on Haley Cummings. What's her name at right now, Nancy? Do you know? Okay, never mind. See, I'm going to get sidetracked thinking about shit from back in the day. All right. That's how far I go back with Nancy Grace. That love, hate, weird, people can like her or not. Go for the interviews is always what I say. Go for who they're interviewing and listen to that. So this would be Brooks before he got charged with her murder, of course. So this is when she disappeared, and he goes on Nancy to get interviewed to help get the word. Because remember, he didn't report Crystal going missing. Her mama had to do it. And what happened was Sherry she ran up on him at the store, okay, and he had the baby, and she's like, I knew Crystal would never leave that baby. And he's all they were talking about, Crystal just didn't come home. She left, right? She left. After we got home, I woke up, Crystal was gone. He says, well, he's going to tell you what he thought happened to Nancy. Now, also, interestingly enough, y'all ready for even more? Her parents, Sherry and Tommy Ballard, are also guests on this show. Okay? So it's going to get interesting. Y'all know Nancy. Let's get your popcorn. If you're here for it, grill them, Nancy. Take it away, ma'am. All right, guys. I'll see you in just a moment.
and Sherry Ballard, her boyfriend that she lived with, they're in their 3-bedroom suburban home. Brooks Houck is with us. So, Brooks, you go to bed, and she's still playing games on her phone. The next morning, around 8 o'clock, you notice that she's missing. Did you report her missing?
No, ma'am.
Why?
That is a great question, and one that I definitely want to hit the public and the media. I was not in the least little bit alarmed in any way, shape, or form. We have had a stressed relationship at times, and one of the ways that Crystal has always chose to the culprit to deal with that is by going to a young woman's name, Sabrina. That is her cousin, her dad's brother's daughter, whom she's very close to. And she spent the night there on several occasions.
When you say several, do you mean 1, 3, 20?
In the neighborhood of 4 to 6, something
Okay,
like that.
Tom and Sherry Ballard, were you aware of that? Do you know who Sabrina is?
Yes, ma'am.
That's my niece.
Okay. Did you know that she goes and spends the night over there when she's having an issue at home?
I've known probably one time.
Right. Okay, I want to go back to Brooks Houck, who was the last person to see her alive. Brooks, did you go on to the July the 4th get-together that day?
Yes, I did.
Even though you didn't know where she was?
I was expecting, I'd putting in a phone call that morning and then around lunch. And usually the maximum period of time that she has stayed gone has only been like a day to a day and a half at the most. And as a result of that, I thought that she would.
Did you try to call
join
her?
us. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, ma'am.
Did you try to call her during that time?
Not while I was there at the 4th. I called her prior to leaving to head in that direction. Yes, ma'am.
Some people have accused you of not being involved enough in the search efforts. What's your response?
That is a great question, and one I certainly appreciate you asking me. And that is all of my efforts in searching for her have been done behind the scenes with the Nelson County Sheriff's Office.
Like what?
Detective Snow, who's leading the investigation, and Jason Allison, who's a deputy there assisting him, along with the Kentucky State Police Agency, post number 12. So
Well, my question was what you had been doing with them, but let me ask you this. I know that you agreed to take a polygraph. Did you pass?
They, because of the way that the lines or whatever were on the thing, they determined it to be what's called inconclusive. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but they did tell me it does mean that I wasn't lying or I didn't pass it or I didn't fail it. They just ruled it inconclusive, and that's exactly the way that it stands. I've been 100% completely honest with everyone. I've been 100% cooperative, and everything that has been asked of me, I've not asked for any kind of legal advice or assistance or an attorney of any nature. I'm 100% completely innocent in this, and I have exhausted my efforts with the law enforcement agencies to gather all the facts necessary to allow me to have a clean name again. And that's very important to me. I have not responded to a lot of the negativity and all this animosity because I want the emphasis to remain on Crystal's safe return home, and that's where I want it to stay focused in that area rather than dealing with any of the animosity.
Are you telling me that's what I need to do? I'm not that. But the way that I look at it is I'm innocent, I ain't done nothing wrong. I know you told me innocent people have got jammed up, but if you're telling me to leave, I'll get up and leave. If you want me to. I know I'm going through a lot, but I'm trying to get this guy to help me. I don't think she's ran off with some other guy. I don't believe that. You can't make me think that. No.
Okay, so I have to stop and talk about it, throughout. So anyway, thank y'all for joining and listening. So when Brooks is getting that interrogation or interview with the cops, he gets that phone call from his brother Nick. So that's what they're.
Yeah, so do I. I'll do exactly what you're telling me to do right now. You want me to get up and leave? Man, I don't think these guys. I don't think these people got it vindictive just to skin me for no reason. Man, this is not their family. This is not. All right, thank you. He thinks y'all little fuck is what he thinks.
I don't know who he is.
Nick, my brother.
If you want to go, you're free.
No, I know that, but I'm not. He just said just to keep sitting up here, to give a statement, do an interview, whatever I got to do it. But he said, darn, just to keep letting them just beat you to death over this right here. Just ask.
Don't let them beat you to death over this right here. Don't simplify it. Don't let them beat you up over this right here. I'm not throwing shade at the way you talk. I'm Southern, whatever. It's not that. It's the way he's treating it, the whole thing, right? And his brother's a cop at this time. And he's going to call him and say, don't let my fellow cops beat you up like this. Just give him your statement and get out of there.
What you got to ask and let you know.
And you tell me.
You see what I mean, he knows more about this than I do. You see.
And have I told you that I'm for you?
Yes, you have.
I said, what did I say? My job is to find Crystal, right?
That's right.
However that happens, my job is to find her. Whether I find her hopefully alive and well and safe somewhere or not, my job is to find her. If I don't find her alive and well, my job is to prosecute the person that did something.
That's right.
If that turns out to be you, my job is to...
Wait a minute, y'all. Did it skip from Nancy Grace to something else without me knowing it? What had happened? It went into, I thought that was part of her show for a second there. And like, wait, that went to the whole interrogation. Because we have the whole thing of that, right? The whole part of that. Hold on. What happened? Was the Nancy Grace thing over? Because it wasn't that long. So it rolled into the next thing. That's what happened, I think. Okay. It took me a second. All right, let me get my bearings back here. Okay. All right, so interestingly enough, right? So why is Nick going to call? No, that's the wrong one. Why is Nick out calling his brother during his interrogation or his interview? As if Nick didn't know he was already down there, right? He's like, was it a planned call, right? Call me up. If they keep me there past a certain time, call me and yeah, we'll do the thing to get me out of here. And then it's like Brooks is gonna flip it. You know, this is my brother telling me to do this, but I know better. Y'all ain't gonna do me like that, right? He's like a player. He's trying to eliminate people. You didn't even notice, maybe. Hold on, me neither. I was like, what happened? Okay, let me pull up this and get back on track here. See if that's what happened. First, I have to put that on silent because it automatically plays stuff in my ear, and it's like, whoa. Okay. Yeah, okay, so that's what it did. It rolled it when the Nancy Grace piece was over with Brooks talking, right? And then when the Ballards were on there as well, it rolled right into the next video I had queued up for us, which was Brooks' interrogation there. So at the end, like you saw, brother Nick calls, right? So right after this, we have an interview they did with Nick. But let me get this back. Okay.
Alive and well, my job is to prosecute the person that did something.
That's right.
If that turns out to be you, my job is to prosecute you. If that turns out to be someone else, my job is to prosecute them, to gather evidence for a lawyer, a prosecutor to prosecute them. I don't know whether that person will be you or not. Well, did I not tell you when you come in here and sat down today that right now you're the main person of interest?
Yes, that's right.
And I explained to you the reason that you're the main person of interest, right? You're the last person to see her alive. right? And I went through your timeline with you and explained to you that there's gaps in your timeline, right? Be it good, bad, or indifferent, you can't remember some things about Saturday, you can't remember some things about Sunday. That's not a judgment against you, that's just a fact. I am simply a fact finder. If you want to go, you may go at any time you wish to. I would never dream of stopping you, didn't tell you you had to stay. If you want to bring a lawyer in and answer questions with a lawyer, you're welcome to do that. I'd have been asking you the very same questions in front of your lawyer that I asked you today. Right? I have not given up hope of finding her alive. That being said, you know as well as I do, the longer this draws out, the less likely we are to find her alive unless she's run off somewhere. I mean, that's just a fact.
That's right.
That's just the facts as they are. I am not for you, I am not against you. I am not for her family or against her family. Right now, my job is to work for Crystal. Plain and simple. It's just that simple. If that means that I have to interrogate you, then that's what I have to do. You've been nothing but cooperative with me. I appreciate that. We've talked. This makes number 3? Third time?
I don't know. I can't.
3 times. Here, the first time. At your house, the second time. And here, the third time again. Not counting the polygraph, because I didn't ask you any questions then. You've not asked for a lawyer. You're right. That's your right to do. You're entitled to do that. If Nick thinks you should go and you want to take his advice, go ahead. It's fine. I'm not offended by that. My job is not to make you happy. My job is to find Crystal. If that makes you happy, awesome. You know, but make no mistake, my job is to find her. That's what I'm doing. If I offend people in the midst of that, well, I'll apologize later for offending people. If it finds her home safe, then I'll just take the blunt of offending people and go on.
I don't care if I offend you, sir. I'm trying to investigate a missing woman's case right at the moment. Welcome, Rocky Mountain Hippie. Welcome to Lead Investigator. Welcome in. And yes, Sophia, Crystal's mom is also Sherry Ballard. So Brooks is like, you know, Brooks wants to say so much more, talk his way out of it. How can he do it? He's trying to size this guy up so he can talk his way out of there.
You know, just like what you said. What'd you say? Doesn't matter what they think of you as long as we find her.
That's right.
So that being said, you know, you're free to take Nick's advice if he wants you to leave. I don't really have any more questions with you. I was just going to tell you where we go next.
All right, yeah, well, wrap it up and you tell me what we're doing next, and if it's over, it's maybe it's false alarm.
So, you know.
Wrap it up then. Tell me what we're doing next.
Here's what I'm looking at, right? I'm trying to find video of her car getting on the parkway, whether it's New Haven Road or 150. Trying to find some video of her car getting on the parkway in hopes that it will reveal to us when it gets on the parkway, because there's some confusion about that. Some people calling in saying they saw it on Saturday. Some people calling in saying they saw it.
I wonder why he's telling him that during the interview of what exactly they are looking for. What's going on there, investigator? I'm trying to get in your head now. Why are you telling him all that extra? You're giving him insight into your investigation, sir. What's happening here?
On Sunday morning. Some people calling in saying it wasn't there Saturday or Sunday morning. That's just the nature of the beast. When you put information out there, you get a lot of it back.
Okay.
So I'm trying to figure out when it got on the parkway, and if I can, who was driving it when it got on the parkway. Maybe she was driving it, maybe she wasn't.
Maybe it's a scare tactic. He's like, we're going to see you on camera, buddy. We got you, Bubba. We see you, or whoever. We right? Because remember, when the brother finds the car, he tells law enforcement, my sister didn't park this car here. She didn't drive this car here, because the seat is pulled all the way to the front, all the way to the steering wheel, and the seat back is straight up. And Crystal wouldn't have done that. It would be all the way back, the seat, and the seat back would be reclined. And then her keys in the ignition, purse, phone. No.
Maybe somebody else was.
So if the cops see, like, so what if somebody else was driving? You know what I mean? Is he trying to triple Brooks up?
Driving it. I don't know. You know, maybe somebody stole it and it got a flat tire.
No.
And they left it on the parkway. I have no idea. There's a million possibilities about how it got on there. So I'm trying to figure that out. I would like to fill in the gaps in your timeline. I may be able to do that with the video at your aunt and uncle's house because they may be able to show.
He's like, timeline gap, aunt and uncle's house video. What are you, what? Oh, hell. This guy ain't playing.
When you came and went from the farm on Saturday, those kind of things. I'm probably going to interview your mom. I'm probably going to interview Nick and ask them, you know, if they were with you anytime during that time. Maybe they have a little better memory of it. They can fill in those gaps. I'm probably going to interview the employees that called you Friday and Saturday, Friday evening and then Saturday, to interview them and ask them, you know, when you called him, what did you talk about? How long did you talk? Mr. Stanley or whatever his name is. You know, did he answer the phone? Did you all talk on Saturday morning? If you did, what did you talk about? Did you go see him? Those kinds of things to help me fill in your timeline, which gives me a better idea of whether or not you're involved in her disappearance. And that's what I do. So, and then once I've done as much as I feel like I can do, I'm going to move on to other things. I'll be honest. Beyond that, short of finding her somewhere, I've done about all the forensic countermeasures I can do. You know, we've gone through the car with a fine-tooth comb. We fingerprinted the car. We've gone through her purse. We're going to start going through bank records. You know, she did have an account. I know you told me you didn't know that she did or didn't. She did have an account of some sort. My understanding is maybe from a family member that there was some Social Security disability from Keith for the kids that maybe went into that account. Maybe that's the case. We'll kind of look into that. You know, we'll start questioning people about the validity of those kinds of things, about the apartment and those kind of things, and try to get a better idea if that's just a shady rumor or whatever, you know. But I've got to, unfortunately, I've got to dispel all these rumors. You know, that's part of my job. We've got to either prove them, disprove them, or no, we can't do either. So that's where I'm at. All right. So I appreciate you coming in.
Hang on one second, guys. So he appreciates old Brooks coming in there. Butterfly, and Forrest, if y'all are here, check the Discord, please.
If I ask you to come in again, or if I come see you, again, know that you're always welcome to tell me you don't want to talk to me anymore. That's perfectly okay. All right?
Are you completely done with my phone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, one second, guys. All right, gotta take care of something. Hey, Cuff You, how are you? Okay, well, Cuff You appear to have me and one of my mods blocked, so can you take care of business or whatever? If you don't mind, it's kind of weird. All right, so that was his, you know, they're getting questioned, and he gets this phone call from his brother. You know, he's over there, don't talk to them, they're just gonna interrogate the crap out of you there, old Brooks. So if they're not gonna arrest you and do the things, you don't got to stay there, you know? And you don't. You really don't. You don't got to answer any questions. You can get up and leave at any time. That's your right. Go get your attorney and come back. That kind of thing. So, yeah, that detective is, there's some interviews out now with him, Pinto, that are I think Shay has got all those on her Facebook stuff now. Because she's got, you know, when she left the news, she went and did her own thing, and she's got a subscription you can get where her work is at now. So I've got to go look into it, right? Because I really want to look at her interview with the FBI case agent and with the detective, was it Snow, I believe, from the case. All right, so then there was the interview after that. They called Nick in for an interview. was like a July 15th was when Nick was interviewed, I believe. Kentucky State Police interview with Nick Houck, Nelson County Sheriff's Office, July 15th, 2015. So this was in, Sherry reported her missing the 5th. So now on the 15th, they're already talking to Nick, right? They've already talked to, the Brooks over there.
Nick, this is Detective John Wallen.
Hello. All right.
Hey, guys.
Fine. How are you?
Good. See if we can find some. You want that chair or this chair?
I tried to find the ones with the best sound too, because there was a couple of options out there and I had to listen to them for a minute. So I tried to find the ones with the best sound options, guys.
What you all talked about on the way over here, or
no, we just basically talked about that he was willing to come over and talk to us, but talking about his car, really.
Okay.
Yeah, he liked Caprice.
Did he?
It's actually John's car.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a little dirty. I need to get it cleaned, but it's been raining so blessed much that it's hard to do anything with it. So just want to make sure you understand you're not under arrest. Okay. I want to make sure that's.
Oh, I know that. I know that.
Okay, and it's my understanding that you testified at the grand jury this morning, is that correct? Okay, and Mr. Gohagan had made mention of that you'd be willing to come in and, under oath, whatever that.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it.
Okay, so you're still fine doing that? Okay. I guess let's just kind of start from the beginning. You don't know us, or I don't know you, you don't know me, so let me get your full name.
Nicholas Howe. Sorry, yes. TNT. Is it AT&T?
Any other cell phones?
Or Bluegrass. It's one or the other.
AT&T or Bluegrass.
I just changed it about maybe a month ago.
Okay. What's your date of birth?
12/18/1979.
All right. You reside there at 99 Olympia Drive with anybody else?
My girlfriend.
Okay. What's her name?
Amber Bowman.
Do you know her date of birth right off?
She's born in '84. It's April the 11th.
Okay. All right. How long y'all live there?
We've only been there for 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
And I don't know that we just moved from 104 Glenview Drive in Bardstown.
104 Glenwood, you said?
Glenview.
Glenview. Okay. I guess let's just kind of start from the beginning. You know what you're here to talk to us about, right?
Sure.
Okay. What is that?
Yeah. Crystal Rogers.
Okay. How do you know Crystal Rogers?
She's my brother's girlfriend.
Okay. And how long have you known her? How long have they been? I'm assuming. Did you know her before they started dating?
No, I didn't.
So how long have they been dating?
2 or 3 years, maybe.
So 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
They have a child together. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. What's his name?
Eli.
How's Eli?
About 2.5.
Okay. And do they reside together, or they?
Yeah, they reside together.
Okay. What's their address?
113 or 116 Glenview.
So y'all live pretty close when you were at those houses.
Mm-hmm.
And your brother's name is Brooks, is that right?
Yeah, Brooks out.
How much interaction did you have with Crystal over the years?
Almost none.
Okay. I mean, did y'all? How often would you see your?
So Nick's just gonna sit there and like they're gonna drag on with Nick, right? Almost none, didn't know Crystal, and I don't know that they were even close at all, right? Um, Nick's over here. Nick's a police officer, and Brooks was out here doing the construction thing and building the homes. So they're interrogating him, questioning him rather, about Crystal
Brother and her, or just her?
I mean, I passed her on the street, and that's about it, you know. I mean, my brother's got a bunch of rental properties and stuff, and I mean, I just don't see him. I see him on the road, and that's about it, you know.
Okay.
He's so busy, we don't hang out much anymore.
Okay. And did y'all go to family functions together around Christmas and Thanksgiving? Or?
If we've got time, we do. You know, I mean, I've got about a dozen rental properties and work full time with the PD, and obviously got a family, and
sure.
You know, I mean, we're just busy guys.
Sure, I understand that completely. I think we can sympathize with that. Definitely. So, in the 2 to 3 years they've been dating, how many times have you been around Crystal?
I've been down there to this house. I don't know, maybe half a dozen times or so.
Okay. Could be more, could be less. I mean, we're not trying to put you into a specific number.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Sure.
What did you know about them? Their relationship. What did you know about their relationship? I mean, they didn't really argue or anything in front of me. If that's what you're getting at. I mean, they seem pretty happy to me. So.
I mean, we all have. You know, I've got a brother, and if something's going on, he'll call him bitch. You know, he'll call and you won't believe what this crazy woman did, or you won't believe this, or you won't believe that. I mean, did he ever give you anything like that?
No, well, he didn't complain to me.
Okay. So how often would you see your brother? I know you said you pass him on the street, and that's about it. But how many times a year would you see your brother?
You know, if I need a tool or something like that to borrow from him, I may see him, but I mean, I couldn't really put a number on it.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I've been, you know, I've had the rental properties now for 4 or 5 years. I've got most of the tools I need, but every once in a while he does have something, you know, that I need, or vice versa.
So do you have a separate company established for your rental company?
Yes.
I know he's got a rental company property. Is that correct? So are two completely separate entities?
You don't do business with families.
Trust me, I understand that too. What's the name of your business?
It was House Properties, but it no longer exists. I dissolved it.
Okay.
In 2014.
So it's just kind of doing it on your own?
Yeah, I just decided I didn't need the LLC. I mean, just extra money for nothing the way I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not expecting to get sued or anything, so.
Sure. And your brother, what's the name of his business?
House Rentals.
Okay. How many rental properties do you think he's got?
I'm going to guess between 80 and 100. And he builds full time also.
So is he a framer, or is he
He's in everything.
everything? So he's your all-purpose man then?
He is.
So, Nick's not going to give them any information, right? And he's going to just be like that slow. Well, his sister said he had issue with technology, like phones and stuff. Maybe he's just laid back. He's super laid back and chilled. I wonder why we don't have anything on the. I want to get my hands on these ballistic tests. I want to get hands on documents. I want to, right? It's so really hard to get documents out of Kentucky. It's easy if you're a Kentucky state resident. A lot harder if you're not. And there's not like this great little website you can go to, like a lot of the cases we follow where everything's just there. Even to pull up the unsealed documents in the case, it's just like, So I would love to get my hands on some of that stuff and find out just read the investigation part, right? Let me see. Okay. I'm going to take him down because he's going to be like, put us all to sleep. there's more we can look at. All right, let me get my chat back up because I had it down. There we go. Hey, Faye, how are you tonight? Welcome in. He doesn't seem concerned, Sophia. He's just like, well, he's just there. What do y'all want? Remember he called and told Brooks, don't even talk to them. Just get out of there, give your statement, and get up and go. He was talking like fast on the phone, but now he's in there himself and he's just all laid back, going through the motions. Does he think if he appears calm, he can fool his fellow police officers, right? If I just remain calm, they will, and just chill. One of y'all. I don't know anything. I'm gonna start yawning. Oh my god. Windy as heck there. We have a nice breeze here tonight, Faye, thank goodness. We had a thunderstorm roll through earlier, and it's breezy. Windy as heck. Be safe. Be safe in the wind. It's no fun when the wind's howling when you try to walk outside. I live in that wind tunnel. Y'all got storms rolling through, Faye? Oh, okay. So I think we're actually going to end it there tonight because we're going to look at some other stuff coming up, and we'll probably do that. It won't be tomorrow or tomorrow night because I've got things going on tomorrow, of course, with my son and my grandson. So we got all that. All y'all, happy Father's Day to all you fathers, bonus dads, uncles, grandpas, everybody doing the dad thing out there, even the moms doing the dad thing. Everybody, right? Celebrate it. I don't care if your celebration's just chilling on the couch all day, right? Do you. Just do what makes you happy. So hopefully everybody will have a good day tomorrow and tomorrow night. I'll be back on Monday. May do some updates on Monday depending on what pops off over the rest of the weekend. I'm going to review a couple things tomorrow night that I might want to talk about on Monday. So I'm going to get with the mods and figure out when we'll do another Crystal Rogers show episode rather, and look at some of the trial stuff with Brooks, right? And see what we can learn maybe about Nick based out of Brooks' trial. We'll pull from the clips that we can have of that. And there's more of these calls that are interesting when I tell you that Brooks appears to use his son, at every turn. There's a couple of calls with Rhonda, his sister. There's calls with the family not long after he's convicted, right? And he goes back to the jail or whatever. He calls them and he starts instructing them on things to do. And so we have all those calls to take a listen to as well. So if y'all are here for that, I appreciate that. And we'll come back and do that as well. I'm not going to keep everybody super late tonight. I do appreciate y'all coming in. I'm going to go and grab a bite to eat, and I'm going to rest and go do all the things tomorrow and get back at this on Monday, True Crime Monday. Oh, did y'all see wait, let me show you something. I don't know how y'all feel. Like I say, go for the interviews, go for the content, go for whatever go evaluate what they're doing if it's something you're interested in, and try to ignore the people like Chris McDonough. So with that said, some people like him, some people don't. I do watch them from time to time depending on what they're doing over there. So really depends on what they're doing over there. Okay, so this, let me get over there and show you what this is, what he said, because over there at the interview room, right? They've been platforming John Ramsey with the Cold Case Foundation stuff, unpacking that investigation, and I've been reviewing that, but this is different. So let me get this pulled up. Not like I'm going to go see what they've dug up, right? No, I want to go hear these interviews, right, from myself, and I want to go hear what their analysis is. Do I agree with that kind of thing? All the things, right? Is a little challenging, a little inner conversations at times, brain challenging. So I'm gonna let me see where to go. It's about the Nancy Guthrie case. Oh, Chris likes to get the scoops, right? He was the one that was getting the leaks about Brian Koberger doing all the things in the prison, like causing a ruckus. Chris was the first to report on it. My sources tell me Brian Koberger is complaining in the prisons. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, he's such a whatever," you know what I mean? And I was like, "Well, why?" I, I mean, I get it. Dude's got a pass. I get all the things, but I don't know if he's lying about that or not. Why, that's kind of ridiculous if he did. Turns out he was right. We got all those things from the prison. Remember, we went over them here on shows. Brian Koberger's complaints in the prison. So Chris was right about that one thing, I know. Like, grain of salt, and here you go.
How you guys doing? Hey, you know, Karen and I always appreciate each and every one of you, and if you could hit that subscribe button to our channel, we're that close to 300,000. And let me tell you, we have spent on the ground time at Nancy Guthrie's.
Do y'all think they went out in front of the property and got out and took footage? Did Chris get out there and stand in front of Nancy's house and give commentary to the camera as Karen films? Probably. And that's okay, because that is our right and our freedoms, right? Freedom of the press. So I guess it's on the way you do it. If you know, you know.
And I've got some stuff that's going to blow your mind. So
he's got some stuff that's going to blow our mind in the Nancy Guthrie case. Are we here for it? Is it really going to blow my mind? That's what I'm wondering. I already got he has a theory that they came out the front door, down the sidewalk with Miss Nancy, and then when they're going out, say you're coming out of Nancy's door, going down the concrete path, they veer to the right with Miss Nancy and go off in that direction. But if you look at that drone footage a little closer, especially when the FBI agents are right there and they look at that ground a little closer, and she squats down even. She picks up the earth and she touches it, and the other ones stand there watching her. They do nothing about it. They end up walking away like it was nothing. But that is the path that the perpetrator took. But I'm not convinced that's the path they took Miss Nancy, because all you're going to do there is you're going to veer as far right as possible. Yeah, because that car is sitting right out there. We all know that. He knows that. But he's got some shit to tell us, y'all. What do y'all think? He's got something?
So join us Sunday night, 8 o'clock Eastern, where Karen and I are going to break it down for you. And it's going to be an exclusive stuff that nobody has.
Exclusive stuff that nobody has. Not even Brian Enton? That's a hard one to beat right there, right? When Nancy Guthrie case is concerned. So interesting to see what Chris, because people are going to be willing to talk to Chris McDonough. Trust me. Those people in Arizona, they already talked to Chris. He already had what's his name on, right? The detective. Didn't he have him on? So he's already talked to a lot of these people, right? And he's done the networking and things. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does come up with there. We'll evaluate it when he does the show. I think it's tomorrow night. We can meet back here on Monday and evaluate it. Ooh, so there we go. It can be the deliberation room. We'll deliberate.
And so hopefully we're on our way home right now, driving, as you can tell. So I kind of got to keep an eye on the road at the same.
Good to goodness, we want you to do that. Pammy gave 800 joules. Thank you, Pammy. That was so cute when it popped up on the screen. Thank you for that, Pammy. Did you have a great time in Mexico?
Hopefully you can join us, and if you'll share this out with everybody.
Okay, y'all, do it. Let's share it out, and we'll meet back up here Was it Monday? Hold on.
We can't wait to see you and share it on your social media networks. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss. Sunday night, 8 o'clock Eastern, and we'll see you then.
Okay. Well, there you go. I'm going to go over there and watch it. I usually do listen on Sunday nights because there's literally nothing else on. If the subject is right, and Dr. Gary's not hogging up the screen, I'll go listen. Dr. Gary. It's the family dynamics. It was, wasn't it? Yeah. What? The the Cabana Boys, not the Cabana Boys. Pammy. Ooh. I bet you had a great time. I'm glad you did. The weather was nice the whole time. Did you have good weather the whole time? When I was down there, I had good weather the whole time. I've only been down in Mexico once, but it was on a cruise, right? But it was good weather. Pinto, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you coming in. Rocky Mountain, thanks for joining us as well. Sophia, everybody who got memberships tonight as well. I appreciate all that. Faye, everybody who came in, my mods. Oh, man. You guys are great. 3 doxies. I'm just trying to scroll back through and say good night to everybody. All right, guys, I'm going to go get some rest, and I'll see you guys back here on Monday. I'll go review that tomorrow night after I do the Father's Day stuff tomorrow and all that. Come back and do that, right? And chill. And I'll be back here, and I'll see you guys come Monday.
Thank you all for watching this here video. Please like and subscribe.